if you are here, you're probably worried that your small group is not growing. Or you probably feel that currently, right now, your small group is not growing. And what can you do about it? That's the reason you're probably sitting here. Perhaps your small group is growing and you want to prevent it from not growing. Whatever the reason you're here, what we're going to be talking about today is what is the reason your small group is not growing? What can you do about it? And how do you know if it's time to close your small group and start again? Because sometimes that is the solution. Okay? That is the last resort, but sometimes that is the solution. Acts chapter 2, verse 42 to 47. This is the ideal small group. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teachings and to the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. Every day, And they broke bread in their homes, ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all people. And the Lord added to the number daily those who were being saved. This is the ideal small group. You're meeting regularly. It's a very spiritual place to be. You're eating together. You're meeting outside of church time. You're meeting outside of small group time. And you are growing. This is the ideal small group. Unfortunately, small groups are not always the ideal. So if you feel that your small group is not growing, today what we're going to do is we're going to reflect first, why is it not growing? Because there has to be a reason. Their small group is not growing. Okay, it's a bit hard to see, but before I jump into this, let me ask you, why do you think small groups don't grow? What's the reason? Why would small groups be stuck and not grow? What do you think?
Maybe no more passion.
Like a passion? Passion from who? So the leaders have lost their passion to run the group. Perhaps. I think it's one good reason. The leaders have lost their passion to run the group. Any other reasons?
Trust.
Trust from who?
Like members don't know each other well, so there's no trust. They cannot share.
They're not close. No trust, so you cannot build the group. Any other reasons?
Maybe members don't feel their needs met from this group.
Doesn't meet their needs. I come for what? No, doesn't meet my needs. Why am I still here? Any other reasons? Lack of effort from who? Leaders. Lack of effort from the leaders? Yeah, perhaps. There are many reasons why small groups don't grow. So, and what you have covered is some of the main reasons that fall into 4 categories. So the slides will be given to you. It's a bit not so clear. It's okay. The first reason that small groups don't grow is a lack of mission. A lack of mission. Now, your small group might not be growing because of one or more of these reasons. One is all you need actually to stop growing. If you have all 4, you know your small group is really in trouble. One, lack of mission means your small group does not know why they are there. They really don't know why. If you don't know what you are doing, you will never hit the target. It's as simple as that. Yeah, you never know. If you don't know what you're doing, you have no goal, you have no idea. Now, this is actually very common in the church. It's common in church small groups because in church, very often, how do we make new small groups? We gather a group of people together and say, start a small group. Start a cell group. Start a care group. Or you're in your ministry, you have come into a structure of small groups. But when a leader is given a small group, and when members are placed into the small group based on various reasons, demographic or character, personality, whatever it is, you squish together this group of people into a small group and say, now do small group. Then they don't know what to do. Just don't know. And that is not necessarily the fault of the leaders. So if your small group is not growing, it might not be your fault. Honestly, don't need to say, oh, it's all my fault. Yes, leadership has a big part to do with it. But sometimes it's not your fault. Maybe you're given people that don't want to be in a small group. Maybe you yourself don't know how to run a small group. That's why this summit is here to help, so that you understand how to run a small group. So the first one, lack of mission. Don't know why you are there. Today I'm going to tell 3 stories of 3 small groups that were not growing. 2 of them closed, 1 of them revived. And through these stories, I hope you can see where your small group lies and whether or not you want to make it grow or you want to close it. Closing is not always a bad thing, and I'll explain that later. So first, lack of mission. Don't know why you're there. Week in, week out, come. You do your small group. You teach maybe. You call people, nobody want to come. Then you come in, you teach also, you're very sian. Because you don't know why you are doing it. Second one, uncommitted leaders. The leaders don't care. I tend to teach also 6:30, never prepare, come anyhow do. Pray also never pray. Want to message out, small group tonight, 7 p.m. I message out at afternoon, 5 p.m. Hey, got small group tonight, then come, nobody come. Why nobody come? Small group leaders, not uncommitted. Don't really care much for the small group. Just waiting for the person who's doing work to do. Don't do work, nobody cares. Third reason, no spiritual elements. That means you come, you sit down, you talk, and you eat, but there's no God in it. The lesson is like the last thing on your mind. Maybe you talk for 1.5 hours, then there's like the lesson is like 15 minutes. Just go through, okay, this, okay, done, pray. Okay, who want any prayer requests? Okay, pray, done. The spiritual element is like 10% of the whole thing. And it's just there because you have to do. The leader have to do because it's a part of. Small group must do spiritual element, so it's part of it. It doesn't permeate throughout the entire group. And the last one is unfriendly members. The members there they're not interested to make friends. Some of these were highlighted yesterday as you were attending. But you put them together, these 4 are probably the main reasons why your small group are not growing. No passion. If there's no passion, the leaders will not be committed. If there's no reason to do things, then everything's 6:30. Let me give you a real example. When I was in SDAC that time, I became a youth leader in SDAC. Back in the day, I was like 16, 17 years old. Me and my friends, before we came to Jurong, right? There's only 7 of us. In the whole SDAC youth that time, there's just 7 of us. Every week, on a Friday night, we'll go to our youth leader's house. And we'll sit down and we'll talk nonsense for 2 hours. Then we pray and go home. Is there like do we know what we're doing then? We love to go. You talk about regular commitment, high. Every week, 100% attendance. But we are there just to eat and to play. Because we don't go home. You go home, you see parents. I don't see parents, I come to here, hang out with my friends, play and all that. And there was such low spiritual focus. There was maybe there's some prayer and all that. But if you ask me now, look back, what was the structure of that group that I went to my youth leader house every Friday night? Nothing. I just remember going there to play and talk nonsense with my friends. That's all there was to it. And as mentioned yesterday, you don't need to have a small group in church to do that. Which means, the moment we could get this somewhere else, we stop coming. Because there's little spiritual element, because we don't know what we're doing, we're not looking for new people. New people come also, they don't want to stay. They're coming to a place where a group of people are just talking nonsense, and then they themselves, they are not the priority. With all these 4 coming in, this was a very, very unhealthy group that stayed 7 throughout my 4-5 years in SDAC. I never grew. It just stayed there until the day came where Pastor John Tan closed it. He made the decision to close the small group. He said, this is not working out. We're going to close it. Then we're like, Then he went one step further. We're going to close the youth ministry. no youth ministry. Because of all of this, we are spending money, we are spending time, we are taking the leader, but there is nothing positive coming out of it. So that's one of the more extreme group that has almost all of this. But if your group even has only one of this, it's a very big reason that why your group is not growing. It's a big reason. If you have all four, maybe it's time to consider, maybe it's time to close the group. Now, what can I do to get my group to grow? Let's say I want or more of these things. What can I do to get my group to grow again? If you are the leader and you feel passionate about this group that you want it to grow, what can you do? Number one, you have to pray. In the SDAC group, did we pray? No lah. Because it's not a spiritual focus. God can do miracles in a dead group if you pray. Just by praying, things start to change in you as a leader. Things start to change. If you ask yourself, when was the last time I prayed for my group? Like, really came because I say, God, I want to pray that you will bless my group. I want to pray that you bring people to come in. I want to pray, I'm praying that my group will be more friendly. I'm praying that my leaders will be more committed. I'm praying, God, that you will send me the people, send me the seekers, show us where to go, show us a new mission, and so on. When was the last time you did that? If you've not been doing that, that means you've been trying to grow your group by your own superpower, by your own personality, by your own ability. If you're not praying, then your group is no better than any social group like this country club right now. It's the same. In fact, outside can do so much better than you. So if you want to revive your group and get it growing, number one, you need to pray. And keep praying. If not, your group will not grow. The second one is to keep the leader accountable. The leader means yourself. The leader means your co-leaders. Accountability is very, very difficult in a church setting. Because we are very scared. If you keep someone accountable, then they just don't do. Hey, you need to back up. Then don't do. We are scared of that. But if we want to get our group to grow, we need to then sit down with our leaders and say, now it's time that we're going to keep each other accountable. Are we doing the best? Are we praying? Are we inviting? Are we keeping the environment healthy? Are we so on? To sit down and keep each other accountable and give each other permission to keep each other accountable so that the group will be able to grow. Third, set a spiritual example. You start first. What you share in the group can be more spiritual. When you talk about what is the purpose of the group, you set that example. If you're asking members to invite their friends, have you invited your friend? If you as a group leader have never invited your friend, don't even expect your members to ever invite their friends. No one likes to invite friends to a small group. It's scary. You get rejected like 90% of the time. Correct or not? Yesterday, Judy was sharing, rejection is normal because it's like sales. It's the same thing. Like you go outside and you ask people to donate coins. Most people don't want to donate. You ask until somebody drop a coin in. Small group is no different. You ask until somebody says yes. You yourself need to be part of that process to build the relationship, to show people that a seeker can actually want to come to your small group and actually stay in your small group. Most of your members will never think it's possible because they have probably tried and been rejected like once or twice. Then they stop. But if you can show that it's possible, and you set that spiritual example, then your members will say, yeah, maybe it is possible. They have never experienced a seeker stepping into the small group. But if you can bring one person, it shows the small group that there's hope. It's possible. Lastly, challenge your members for mission. To sit down with your members, not just your leaders, members themselves, and say, hey, do you know why we're doing a small group or not? It's not just to come together and eat together and play together and talk together and support. No. We are here to reach out and bring people in to know Jesus. That's why it's here. And you be very frank with them. And if they're not interested, and they don't want to join, if they are church members, so be it lah. So be it. You were the one that said some of them just not interested, just gone, right? You were sharing yesterday, right, Judy? You were sharing. It's really okay. Sometimes the toxic ones go is better, no? Just let them go. If they're not there for mission, it's okay. Yeah.
I wouldn't use the word toxic. They are not ready. A few years later, they come back and say, yeah, now I got it.
Yeah. Not everyone is toxic. Some are lah. Some are lah. Not everyone that leaves is toxic. Some are. But Judy is correct. Sometimes they're not ready for an outreach small group. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are many other things in church. Because not everybody in church wants to be serving. Not everyone in church wants to be part of a growing group. And if most of your members don't want to be part of it, then it's hard for your group to grow. So if you sit them down and you talk to them and you say, okay, from now on, know that this small group purpose is reach out to bring friends, or this is our fishing pond. This is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to pull people in. Then you get them to agree. Actually, most of them will not say no one. They say, They may not do much. That's where your spiritual example comes in. You've got to show them that it is really possible. This is what I did with my men's group. That's what I did with my men's group. Last year, my men's group was dying. We were not only not growing, we were shrinking. When I first came to Jurong Church, I took over the men's group from Pastor Ben. So the men's group was quite big, 10 plus people. Those that stay in the west, stay in the north, that would come to the men's group. So we started, it was okay. We would come, we would meet. It was not really evangelistic in nature, but people would come. So they will come, we will go through a material. Very often it's on something about men, because it's a men's group, right? But men's material is very limited. I don't know whether you ever search for men's material. Because there's so few men's groups out there. You want to find youth material a lot. You want to find young adult material a lot. Women's material a lot. Men's group, 1, 2, 3, that's it already. So we went through, and men's material always about what? Be a good father, be a good husband, be a good Christian. Be a good father, be a good husband, be a good Christian. Very standard few things going round and round in circles, because that's what men are supposed to do, just they're not doing it. They're just going round and round in circle. So we went through a few men's materials. We went through a few discipleship materials. How to be a good father, all this kind of stuff. How to be a better Christian, how to know the Bible better. But as the years went by, the men's group got smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm the leader. I have to look at myself, hey, the pastor's small group is shrinking. How? So I remember last year, there was one small group. I prepared the material already. You had a material, a men's group, video to show that I prepared all the DVD. And then came only 3 people. 3 men only. They came. I already knew this is a problem. I was talking to Alex. Alex is the unofficial head of the men's ministry. I told Alex, hey, it's not working. Something is wrong. Because I knew, why was my men's group existing? Because it's always existed. I took over from Pastor Ben, so I just continue doing the same style, but I'm not Pastor Ben. So I can't really do things Pastor Ben style. And then they're just there because every week a man is supposed to go to men's group. There's no other reason than you are supposed to kind of be there. There's no reason to be there other than that. And we were kind of exhausting all the men's material. Uncommitted leaders. The pastor got a million things to do. Right? So I'm the main and only leader of the men's group. So do I have time to do? Spiritual elements have okay. Members, are they friendly? Okay so and so Don't say very outreach focused. But my first 2, big problem. So shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So that day, I was praying about it. What should I do? I said, I had no idea what I was going to do in my group at all. What can I do with the men? Men don't want to go small group lah. They just don't. Your fathers want to go small group? Probably not lah. Men don't want lah. Your husbands want to go small group? Not really lah. Generally speaking, they're not very keen to come and sit down and talk about their life and grow spiritually. Men don't like to do this kind of thing. So I was like, so what? How? So like that, then how? What am I going to do with my men's group? So I was praying about it. I had no idea what to do. But then I realized that the problem lies with me. I had not addressed the problems that why do we exist? What are we doing? And it's not meeting the needs of the men. Nobody wants to come. So I had to take a look in the mirror and say, okay, you are the problem. Then, that day, I sat down with them. There was just 3. All were members. So I don't have to worry about seekers. No seekers anyway lah. All were members. I sat down with them. I said, okay, men, are you here because you want to be here or not? Didn't say yes or no. Tell me, answer me honestly. Do you really want to come for men's cell? No, no, no. I honestly asked my members that. No? So after I asked them that, I said, so why you don't want to know? I said, I want to know. Why you don't want to come for men's cell? And why are you even here? Because you don't want to come, why are you here? One of them answered me very honestly. No, not that. The women are not in the men's cell. It's only men. One of them answered me, I hope 1 year never come cell group. I feel bad. So Alex asked me to come, I come lor. I feel bad. So do you like what we're doing? No. Here's so many times already. Man, yeah, I know lah. Must be good husband, I know lah. Must be good father, I know. So you're given a choice, right? Will you be here? No. Ask another, why were you here? He point to a third guy. This guy live in the east, he come, I live in the west. If he can come because if you live in the east, I look at myself and say, you live in the west, what reason you have to not come? So I come lor. So I said, do you come because you wanted to hear the lesson? No. Ask the third guy in the east, why do you come? Today I have nothing to do, I come. He come like once a year, that kind. Or 2 years once, that kind. So that they happen to have these 3. Now, can you imagine as the leader how I feel, right? Lesson irrelevant. I'm the pastor, but they don't give me face. The material useless. Nobody's happy to be here. So I told them, okay, this cannot continue. If we have to do our men's cell, we want to do something that the men want to do. And we want to do something that you can invite your friends. Because I know the cell group must be evangelistic. I said, let's not do material anymore. So I asked them, last time, I wanted to know, I must be honest with myself, right? Last time, Pastor Ben time, why you all come? Now I take over to come in here. So what was good about that time? One of them told me, wow, last time Pastor Ben do what or not? He just come, he just talk only. No, they said, then got lesson, little bit lah. Don't tell Pastor Ben. But men's cell, men very difficult lah. So we all struggling to find what the best. He just said, okay, today how's your week? Okay, can you share? What's your week? How's your week? So last time we come, we sit down, we can share about our life, no? Now we cannot, because just listen to Bible things. Maybe share for our life a little bit only. Only listen to Bible thing only, I don't like. Now is that good or bad? It's good and bad lah. It's not outreach focus for sure. But then I got inkling. Actually, men do want a place to talk about their life. Because there's nowhere else to talk about it. Which men go to work and talk about their life? Don't have lah. Which men go to church and talk to their friends about their life? Don't have. Talk about yesterday who won the football match, got lah. Talk about work, have lah. Complain about wife, maybe lah. But talk about their life, their struggle, don't have. So when I took over, I put in a more structured approach. I'm more structured lah. So I brought about more structured approach. But the men don't like. So now I cannot talk about my life. So I don't come long. I come and listen to the Bible for tomorrow, so got Sabbath school, then got sermon. So I don't listen to a sermon. Within less than 12 hours, I listen to 3 sermons. Very boring. Now, of course, I feel very bad. I'm the leader. But this kind of feedback, right, gave me, really sharpened me as to what I'm doing. And I'm sharing that with you today, because I didn't get this from a book. This is actually my personal experience about how to revive a small group. So that then I asked them, okay, so if you all don't just listen to a lot of Bible things, but the purpose of small group is evangelistic. What can we do that your colleagues will come? We spent about almost an hour talking about this. What can we do? Brainstorm. What do men like talk about? Sports or what else? Sports or technology, cars, politics. Politics. But how to do that in small group, right? So we ding dong, became one thing. Men like health. Not necessarily their own health, but they like to talk about health. And how they can become fitter, stronger, and they might never do it lah, but they like to talk about it lah. All the wives you know lah, huh? You ask your husband, you want to be fit, muscle? Of course, you go gym. Yeah, I'll go gym. Go or not? Never go. Very normal lah. But okay. What else men like to do? Like exercise. They like to give the impression that they are getting healthy. So what we do? So we do one big round and then say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Even if no seekers come, our men's cell will always be a topic that seekers will come. Even if no seekers come. All agreed. Then the three of them say, okay, makes sense. If we do a health topic, will you come? They say, yes. Then I ask them again, you want to come because Pastor asked you to come or because you want to come? Say, because I want to come. Okay, we try. Then we ask, okay, exercise, right? What if we exercise for half an hour from 6:30 to 7? You do exercise. We have a healthy dinner. So at least in 1 week, eat one healthy dinner. So you have a healthy dinner on Saturday. So you feel like you're healthy. Actually, you're not, but you feel like you're healthy. Then 7 o'clock, we eat salad. 7, then doing from 7 to almost 8, we talk about our lives. Then I go through with them health material. If you're interested, it's very good. It's called Creation. It talks about physical health, mental health, and spiritual health in a very seeker-friendly way. The book is very nice. I can show. If you're interested, I can show you. So I say we're going to go through this in a very seeker-friendly way. The book is very seeker-friendly. How you get enough sleep, how you handle your diet, what you put in your mouth, about exercise, all this kind of thing. Very, very practical day-to-day kind of thing that we don't do. Okay, so we're going to use this material. Everyone agree you will come. Will you try and invite your friends or not? They say, yeah lah, try. Never invite lah, but say try. In the end, they didn't invite. Not yet lah. But that's where this comes in. 2023 started first month. I say we try. I got the material. I went to research. Asked health department. Got Adventist material. Very nice one. I created. I created the poster. Put all the details in. Send out to them. Please invite your friends. Invite your colleagues to come. And what must I do? I must invite lah. But my colleagues all Adventists, right? How? Go ahead and find. I invited my neighbor. In Sengkang, far away from Jurong, no? In Sengkang. I've been praying for this guy for a year. I'll bring him to church. I invited my neighbor. I tell him all about it. I say, hey, we're doing this. It's in Jurong lah. I know it's a bit far lah, but are you interested to come and join? First month he never come. I met with the men, just 4 or 5 of us. No seekers. But as promised, we did it seeker-friendly way. Why? Because I wanted the men to see that I'm conducting it in a way that their colleagues will come. It's not that, no seekers, okay lah, we talk about Daniel Revelation. No. I said, I still conducted it seeker-friendly. There's not a single seeker for 3 months. One also never turned up. But every month, because I teach, right? I do it in a super seeker-friendly way so that they know this is how you conduct. This is something that if a single seeker turn up, they will stay. Then I started to think back. I got to know this friend in an exercise group about 8 years ago. 8 years ago, We used to do, when I was in Thompson Church, we did this young adult exercise group. Now me and that friend is no longer young adult, because 8 years ago, we are adult already. So maybe he's interested. I invited 3 of them to come. Last Friday, my neighbor and this friend from 8 years ago came for the second time. I invited them to the Jurong church camp in Vietnam. My neighbor is very keen to go. He lives in Sengkang, next to me. I have no one else to invite, I got no colleagues. My colleagues are Adventists. I must crack my brain. So I must set example. I thought of every single person I could invite. I asked so many people. Out of 10 of them, 10 I just told me 2 turn up. And they love the men's group. My neighbor, he personally told me, he said, thank you for inviting me. I've never experienced something like this before. He's not a Christian. His whole family is not Christian. He came from Malaysia. He's a photographer. Came from Malaysia. Yesterday, Nini was joking with him. Hey, I'll be your assistant, I learned from you. The Burmese guy likes to take photo. Alex even took his name card. Hey, maybe I call you take photo for me next time. He loves it. He wished he could join more, but his photography, all these Saturdays, all this Friday night, he's busy. Second time he came. He loves it. What if I shown my members? It's possible. If you pray for a seeker to come, and you keep inviting, they will come. Then now I can challenge them for mission. I know among the men, 2 of them have invited their colleagues. Their colleagues said no. But they invited. That means they have come to the place where they say, okay, I understand the mission of this place. I've seen Pastor Christon bring someone from Sengkang to come. I see that it's possible. And now, I will try too. Yes, I got rejected once, but I will try again. And maybe next year, my men's group continue in this format. Maybe there'll be more that will come. Maybe some of the men who actually invite their friends, they will come. Now the men, there's only about 4 of us that's regular. The rest of them, 10 over men not interested to come, never mind. It's okay. They're still in the group, we still advertise in the group. When you're ready, you come. But every time got seekers come, I take photo, we put in the group, we exercising, we take photo, put in the group. So they know, this is happening. If ever you are ready to come and join us again, come and join. If ever you're ready to invite your friends, invite your friends. Now my men's group, last time, like 2 years ago and last year, I come to men's group, I also drag my feet. I was so tired tomorrow, I speak sermon, I must Sabbath school, still have to lead men's group, nobody wants to be here, I also don't want to be here. Now I'm very excited. Why? Because my neighbor is there. He's the one, I put the name, I put on the tree, He's the name I put on the tree. I've been waiting for a long time. If you come for the church camp, all of you make fun of him. I want him to stay, He's very keen. He likes the men's group and how we do things. So, all of this put together. Now there's a reason to be there. And the atmosphere is positive. Because the seekers are there, we are moving in the same direction, and those that are not interested don't come anymore. It's okay. When they're ready, they'll come back. So if you're going through a difficult time in your small group, if your small group is not growing, pray about it. Look in the mirror. Set an example. Then sit down with your members, challenge them for mission. Because you cannot do this alone. If you are the only one who's interested in mission, it's not going to work. The rest of them have to buy in. Because if not, they are not going to make friends with the new guys that come in. Now when my neighbor comes, all the men are talking to him, not just me. I don't have to worry. They'll talk to him, hi, welcome, hey, good to see you. When my other friends from exercise group come, hey, nice to see you again. I don't have to worry because why? My men know why they are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. My last story. When is it time to close a small group? Sometimes you have to close. If you might have to close a small group for a few reasons. First, the small group has become toxic. Toxic meaning what? Toxic meaning they just want to do their own thing, and there's nothing positive coming out, and it's just burning out the leaders. Toxic means you touch on it, you get burned. There was a group that I closed recently. Why do you close? Because the group, the leaders, they pretty much given up. And every week when they want to do this, it's kind of like my men's group when I was just 1 year ago. Every week when they have to lead some group, they dread it. Lead some group again. So tired from this week. They are suffering spiritually trying to lead a dying small group. The leaders are suffering spiritually. The members, those that come, they have no interest in spiritual growth. They have no interest in growing the small group. They just come, maybe the leader asks them come, then maybe they come, I'm your friend, I come. Then they come, you can imagine if the leader doesn't really there, what's the atmosphere of the group when they're there? They don't even want to be there. Leader don't want to be there. Members don't want to be there. And it's just a drag. There's no seekers and no intention to bring seekers. Now this group was listen to the church leaders, it's okay. But there are some groups that go rogue one. They don't care what the church leaders want. They just do whatever they want. That's a big red flag also. So this group, I sat down the leaders. So I tried to do this with them. Before you close a group, you try and rescue first. So I sat down with them. And I asked them to keep them accountable. I asked them, say, okay, what do you want? Is this something you want to do? Everyone said no. They shared honestly, it's draining us. I'd rather do other things. I asked them, do you see this group, do you want this group to be mission focused? You want to bring seekers? They look at it and say, one is one, but we cannot see where the seekers will come from. We just cannot see. I asked them, do you want to continue? They said no. I think we want to serve elsewhere. I said, okay. When the small group is harming its leaders, making them discouraged and disillusioned, when the small group is harming its members, they don't even want to be there, just dragging their feet. What's the point? And if this small group is not interested, the leaders and members are not interested to even try to be seeker focused. You don't have to be successful at it, mind you. You want to continue, you don't have to be successful at being seeker focused. You just need to try. For 3 months, my men's group were not successful either. But we want to try. They didn't even want to try. Then I told them, okay, in that case, maybe it's time to close the group. Let your members go to other groups that are healthy. Maybe they can find a place there. Maybe they can grow there. And you guys, use the talents God has given you to serve in places you want to serve in. And they distributed out. Some went to worship ministry. Some went to family ministry. Some just became members. It's okay. But they're not being dragged down by this dead horse that they're trying to do. When is it time to close? When your small group is harming the leaders, harming the members, no intention to find seekers, everyone's pretty much given up. I can continue my men because those 3 men that day said that yes, we will try. That's all we need. We will try. Okay, we try. Okay, let's go. Members say we'll try. If all 3 of them say no, I don't want to do it, I'm not interested, I cannot, I will have closed the group. But the man said, we'll try. I got people with me, we try. Okay, let's go. So how to close a small group? Your small group leaders have been suffering. They have really been suffering. We want to appreciate them. So they don't feel like they have done all this for nothing. I had an appreciation dinner for them. Church pay. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for your hard work. Over these years, you've done your very, very best. Yes, maybe it's not the outcome that we want. You've done your very, very best. Then leaders to tell the members the reason why it's closing. I told them, okay, you sit down with your members. Just tell them, say, okay, if we come to a point where this group is not growing, there isn't much, then I think it's time that we close it. And we want to encourage you to go to other groups. This is the other group you can go, this is the other group that you can go. Listen now, remember the better times. I remember when we first started, yeah. There's a reason why we started. Encourage leaders to serve elsewhere and the members to go to other small groups. Then you close it. And it's beneficial to everyone. The leaders don't burn out. The members get support with other groups that are healthier. And the church doesn't have to worry about a toxic small group anymore. In the end, 2 did. The one that I did SDAC did. One of the Jurong ones did. Closed. The men's group revitalized. There's no easy answers when your group isn't growing. You have to look in the mirror. All the leaders have to look in the mirror and say, am I the problem? Do I still want to make this work? And if the answer is yes, I want to make this work. Then you go through the 4 process and make it work. But if you look in the mirror and you honestly look at the mirror and say, wow, I cannot. If I continue to do this group, I leave church already. I die already. Then it's time to consider, okay, maybe we close it, it's okay. Close it. Sometimes it's better to close a group with bad culture and then start a new group with a better culture. All over again. Any questions? I know this is a very sobering topic. Not so positive like the rest. Yeah, grow. But the reality is not all small groups work. That's the reality. It's okay to close and start again. It's really okay. Sometimes that's the best thing. Sometimes. Questions?
Maybe this one is for just for the consideration of the, like, let's say you're running a small group, right? So what happened is I closed 2 in my leadership time as well. With the knowledge that if the members from that care group that close goes to other groups, sometimes they bring culture over. So this is not so much about closing the small group, but
what do you do after?
So let's say you're running a care group and it's running well. How do you think we can be prepared for that influx sometimes?
We don't encourage, please don't encourage them all to go to the same group. That would be the worst thing. Like 4 disillusioned, jaded, discouraged members go to another care group and like go there and like with them, no, doesn't work. So with that group that we close, right? Okay, you go here, you go. We encourage them to split up so that we don't bring the same culture. Because if it's one person, they can assimilate into the group easily without changing the culture. Or even they are still blah blah about everything, it will not change. If all go to the same group, so we don't definitely don't encourage, close this and everyone go to the same one. That's a terrible idea. We try and distribute them out. And if you're receiving them, you know it's coming from a closed group, then just know that there's more care needed for this person. And that's okay. Because everyone needs a little bit more care. They care for them a bit more and maybe they'll turn around. And if they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. Yeah. Oiling, you got a question?
Yeah, one of the things that is not covered is probably the leader did not get support, the training for them to lead the group properly.
Perhaps, yeah. If you don't know how to do what you're doing, like as that one, right? When I was asked that, you don't know what you do, yeah, you can. So that's a good suggestion that if you don't know what you're doing, then get training. Or don't start leading again. That's why from the start I said, sometimes it's not your fault. It might not be your fault that is. You just got handed something and you're not ready to take over. And if you fail, don't take it personally. It's not your fault. And get some training. This summit is here to help equip all of us. Because the reality is the Adventist church culture, small groups, we don't do it. We're very good at Daniel Revelation, Bible study groups, Vespers, evangelistic meeting. Small group culture, very poor. Most people don't know how to do small groups. So in Jurong, at least we are trying to, with these small group summits and the trainings, move all of us to be equipped to be able to do small groups. Yes?
The other thing is also those successful cell group, maybe those leaders can also help to planning, to check on those groups that are not doing so well. Maybe they're doing well, they also can provide some insight how to do even better.
Some best practices. Yeah, that's a good suggestion we can bring up to the small group committee. I think the small group ministry to have more opportunities to share best practices and struggles so we can learn from each other. That's a good suggestion. Any other questions? So if you need personal coaching on how to revive your small group, please approach me. Yeah? Because sometimes you need a third party to come in like consultant like that. To take a look at how your small group is and what can we actually do to make it grow. The church is here to support you. The small group ministry is here to support you. Bernice and the team, we're all here to support. Approach me, approach them. We'll try our very best to come in and do some brainstorming with you, look at it, maybe have a third party. What can we do? How can we find the mission? What can we do with the leaders? What is really the problem of the small group? We can help. But if you on your own look in the mirror, you're able to see the problems. And I think a lot of times we know. A lot of times you look in the mirror, you kind of know what's wrong with your group. Then you get started on the revival of your small group. If you are, yes?
I feel that our cell group doesn't have a common objective. I felt that I'm a bit running whatever I want to do. There is no common direction that we are working towards. Different ministry, we have visitation, we have cell, then we have different, but we are not common objectives. So I think we are not working in harmony. We're trying to achieve something.
It's true.
We do something maybe in the coming year to make it like a more meaningful one in terms of material, in terms of like the accountability. What are our cell group doing? Does anybody know?
I think that's where some of the focus groups was done earlier. But I get what you're saying. That very concern is why we're doing this summit. They're very concerned that every ministry is just doing the cell group their own way. Cell group, care group, small group, whatever. You're just doing it your own way. And the vast majority are not seeker focused. So this summit, why we spend money to come here? Why cannot do it in church? Because we need to come to a new place to have a new way of thinking and a new way of doing things. The feeling is different. When you can hear new speakers to give a different perspective. In Jurong Church, I think we are trying to be very clear that small groups are outreach focused. And here we are having this to try and unify and align everyone and say, how do we do your small group? Using the Christ method. What's the purpose of small group? Always outreach. If you're a fellowship group, go ahead. Kopi club, what that there. There's nothing wrong, and they have their place. But if you call yourself a small group, you need to be outreach focused. If not, don't call yourself a small group. Not that the church will close you down. No? You want to be a group that sit down and eat together, lim kopi after church every day. No one's going to close you down. But if you're not a small group, we'll not treat you like a small group. It's as simple as that. So this summit is trying to align. And moving forward, what the small group committee is preparing is a whole YouTube training on how do you start a small group, what you do in a small group, how you facilitate in a small group, what do you do with challenges in a small group. All these things, Pastor Pham and I are actually writing a script, and we're going to record, and it will be all put on YouTube. So any new small group leader can just watch, and they already know what they're supposed to do in a small group and what's the purpose of a small group. That's in the process. I don't know whether they're announcing later. Probably, right? Bernice will announce a bit about this. They'll announce it later, but I hope that will address your concern. That when, let's say, Javen wants to train up a new youth leader, he just sit down with them, okay, just watch this 2-minute video, 2-minute video, 2-minute video. You know what a small group is. Done. And in the Jurong context, that's it. It's a very simple way to be able to onboard new small group leaders. That's what we're hoping to do. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It doesn't mean that we'll close the summits or like no more summit, no more. It doesn't mean that, but it just means that you can't have summits or trainings throughout the year. The aim of that is also to have a simple way to onboard new leaders without having to wait for the next summit or the next training. Yeah. Andrew, the other side is done. Do we go back?
Q&A also.
Yeah. So maybe you can have 1 or 2 more questions, then we will head back to the main room. Yes.
Pastor Christon, I look at your presentation more of growth related to size, physical size, as you are bringing in seekers.
Yes.
How about if you look at if my small group is not growing as defined by spiritual growth. So you do also have to take care of this aspect.
Yes.
Whether seekers non-seeker, they are already in the church, you're coming together also want to move
Yes.
them, enhance their spiritual growth. So are we also including in training like such aspects?
That will be under the discipleship ministry. So when you're talking about growing spiritually, that is where we have discipleship groups for that purpose. Sabbath school for that purpose. Bible study groups for that purpose. It's not say that you are doing that means we kick you out of the church, this group cannot exist. No. Spiritual growth is very important. That we all must be in groups that we can grow spiritually. That's why many of us have gone through discipleship groups, mentorship groups, Bible study groups, Sabbath school. This is very important. But if you look at small groups, as Ollie was mentioning, right, we want to align. If you are a small group, your focus is seekers. If you are a Bible study group or a discipleship group, your focus is spiritual growth. You cannot say my focus is spiritual growth, but I am a cell group or small group. It's a different category. Once we start to mix everything together, we accomplish nothing. So in Jurong Church, we're trying to split the two, so that we can be very focused in what we're trying to do and not try to accomplish everything we want in one group. Any one more question? If not, before we close and we head back to the young people, any question? I think this can be very sobering, but I want to leave you with the promise from the Bible. With men, it can look impossible. But with God, all things are possible. If you ask me today in my men's group, I will be able to bring my neighbor and my friend here, I will say, I will not believe it. 1 year ago, especially in the format that it is. With God, all things are possible. So don't be discouraged. If you pray and you want to revive your small group to be a growing small group, as long as you pray about it and you put your best, God will bless. Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we know, Lord, that sometimes our small groups don't work out the way we want them to. But we pray, Lord, that as we come together to be equipped, trained, and to be able to grow our small groups, we ask, Lord, that we can be humble, to be able to accept the mistakes that we've made, but at the same time, be motivated and encouraged that with you, nothing is impossible. We can move forward together on our knees, and our small groups will grow if we bring them to you. So we pray that you bless all the small group leaders here as they consider how to help their small groups to grow. Bless them, give them special insight, and give them the support that they need from the church, the pastors, and the small group ministries, that we can truly have multiplying, healthy small groups for your kingdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.